What I'm here today to talk to you about is insect bite prevention. Now, it will spoil your trip massively if you get a tropical disease, insect-borne tropical disease. So prevention is better than cure, isn't it, at the end of the day? So what I'm going to do is take you through some of the items that I use to help to limit, sort of minimise the bites that I get from insects. You're not going to stop them completely, but you're going to minimise them. Also, something you need to be aware of as well is the fact that if you feel that you're not getting bitten, doesn't mean you're not getting bitten. That sounds a little bit oxymoron, doesn't it? Some people don't react to the bite from insects, i.e. they don't get a small sort of swellings and itching and all the rest of it. So it is really key that you use preventatives to get yourself bitten to such, regardless of the fact that you think you're a person that gets bitten a lot like me, or you're a person that thinks that can't get bitten at all. You probably do. So use these all these methods. Now I use a combination of different things as well. You can't just rely on one thing itself. Other thing to be thinking as well is before you go away traveling, especially to the tropics as well, is what different vaccinations and tablets that you require as prophylactics to stop you getting certain diseases as well. So this is in combination of that as well. Okay, so the first item I'm going to show you is permethrin. Now this is something that you're going to put on your clothing prior to you leaving your home effectively. It lasts for around about 6 weeks, can take around about 6 washes, so it does last for quite a long time. Now you've got to do a bit of research on this, and I'll put a link to this at the bottom for you to look at it in a bit more detail. It does come from a natural source, but certain creatures are sensitive, obviously insects, but also your domestic cat. So if you are going to use this, do it outside. On a sunny day, you're going to spray this onto your clothing. Now it's all your clothing that you're going to have, other than things that are quite close to your skin, like your underwear. I'll probably not recommend that you do that. I tend to put it on my socks. This is going to stop leeches getting up through your trouser leg, as well as ticks. And that's the main reason why I use this, is really, as well as mosquitoes on my, when I put it on my trousers, on my shirts, is to prevent mosquitoes, but also I'm preventing ticks and leeches as well. Okay, next item I'm going to show you is something that you're going to spray onto your skin. Remember that when I was talking about the permethrin and such, it's going onto your clothing, but you're going to have areas of your body which is going to be exposed, like your hands and your face. So you want to really be putting on some sort of chemical there to minimise the bites as well. Now the one that most people use when they're travelling to tropical environments is going to be DEET, and that's spelled D-E-E-T. Now I've used it for many years when I was in the military and when I first started to work in the outdoor industry as well, but I find it really aggressive. It will melt man-made fibres. For instance, my watch strap will melt. And also, I've seen young adults put it onto their equipment as well, like for instance a mosquito net on their hammocks, and it's melted a hole in it. Okay, so I've strayed away from that now, and I'm using this. What I'll do is I'll put a link to the active ingredients within this as such. And again, what I find as well with the insects, they adapt quite easily to chemicals as well, so using something a little bit different. And also I'm using this because it's a little bit less aggressive as well, but I find it really effective. So I'm spraying this onto my exposed skin. You have to use it regularly. It says on this one around about 8 hours use, but I tend to, in a hot sweaty environment like the tropics, I'm probably replacing this anything from every 2 hours to every 4 hours or so. But in the UK you probably get away with using this maybe once, maybe twice a day, but with tropical environments, obviously because it's quite humid, you are quite sweaty, you're probably going to use it a lot more often. Okay. Next item I'm going to show you is something that I wear on my wrist and on my ankle as well. Basically it's a strap, and this tablet is impregnated with essential oils, probably citronella, maybe eucalyptus. Again, I'll put a link to where you can find this, and you can go in to look at the details of it. And that's the other thing I'd like to say to you as well: do your own research. Okay, don't just take my word for it. Have a look into it in detail and find out what works for you, and you use it as well. More importantly, the items that I'm showing you is the items that I have used personally and found effective. So basically, this tablet goes into there, and it's producing an odour which is repellent to biting insects, effectively. Now I put one on my right wrist and on my left ankle. So I've got this basic bubble of an odour really to prevent insects from biting me. There you are. Next item is this, a body wash. This is biodegradable and is impregnated with citronella. So when you think about how do biting insects locate you, then the main way they locate you is through your breath and the carbon dioxide. Also heat from your body, because you're a mammal of course, and also you're producing different odours. So if you can, keeping clean is important, obviously in a tropical environment. So every time you're having a wash, usually twice a day, even while you're trekking, especially in jungle environments, lots of rivers that you can get into, especially at the, at the start of the day, at the end of the day, get into the rivers and have a wash using this, which is impregnated with citronella, and it's reducing your signature effectively to the insects. So again, a lot of people think about this. I think it's an effective way of reducing your bites as well. Now, the other item I'm going to show you is these here. Now, like I said to you just a moment ago, the way that insects are attracted to you is through your breath. So these two lozenges here have eucalyptus. Insects do not like eucalyptus. Okay, so now I've two different ones here. This one's Orbus. It's a bit expensive. It's almost about £4. And once you open this as such, they're open as such, so the individual could be susceptible to the humidity in the air, so they might not last very long, get sticky and a bit sort of, not nice to eat. So that's a con on that one, but it does have a high eucalyptus content. We've got these ones here, a gentleman's, 75p, individually wrapped. Obviously the con that is what you do with the plastic wrappers in a developing world environment as such, not very good for the environment, but however going to last a lot longer. So masking your breath, this is a little bit experimental on my point of view as such, but I used them last year in Southeast Asia, and again it reduced my bites quite effectively. The other thing as well, something I learned from the guys that I've been working with throughout the year in South America and Southeast Asia, when somebody's struggling on a trek, they give them a nose spray which has eucalyptus in it, or menthol, to help sort of open up people's airways, to help them sort of breathe a little bit more effectively. That's what this is doing as well, isn't it? So it's got a double effect. You can give these to individuals who are struggling sort of breathing, to open up their airways, as well as the fact that it's releasing eucalyptus. Now that moves me on to something else, because I talked about body wash. Let's have a look at something else that I've been using recently as well in the tropics. Is deodorants infused with eucalyptus. So again, I've talked about sort of the body wash, and I've talked about your body odour as such. Also, I've read some research about the fact that mosquitoes are attracted to people as well through feet, i.e. smelly feet. I'm not saying that I have smelly feet or not, but there you are, could do. But I use this on my armpits, obviously, and I do put this on my feet as well. And again, it's the odour of this is eucalyptus. Insects do not like eucalyptus whatsoever. So again, it's just you thinking a little bit sideways on this. And again, this is something I've been using for the past 2 years to reduce the bites, and I'm finding it quite effective. As I said before, we've got different individuals. I am definitely one of those individuals that get bitten by anything that is going to bite you as such. Okay. I believe that is it of all the items. Now, one thing I want to remind you of is this: not just relying on one item to prevent insect bites. You've got to use many different things. And like I'm trying to explain to you here, is to think about how the insects are attracted to you, and to avoid them by using some of these methods that I'm showing you now. So think about it. Do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. And use these as well throughout your travels, to see how you get on. And let me know in the comments as well. That'd be quite interesting. Thank you very much.